Welcome back. Our cityscape is pretty much finished. At this point, I'm going to open it up to some free choice things. Number one, you could Sharpie around the windows if you wanted. That would take a long time, but it would make your windows probably look a little nicer. Secondly, I forgot in my other demonstrations to do the other windows. I did 2 yellow windows there, and I really wanted to do 5 to 7 yellow windows throughout my buildings. And the yellow windows are going to kind of pull your eye around the painting. So rather than just having them all on one building or all in one spot, I kind of want to spread them all out. So I'm going to go back with some yellow, and I'm going to have one here. I'm going to put one up here in this corner, and I'm just going to paint right over with my little detail brush. I'm just going to paint right over the gray window that I had. Okay, so there's my third yellow window. Then I'm going to paint one up here. I'm going to paint right over the gray window that I had. And this is going to help move the eye. We're going to include the principle of movement. And the color is what's going to help our eyes move through the picture. So I'm going to have 5 windows altogether that are going to be yellow. And notice how they are all kind of put through the whole picture. I've got the eye traveling kind of this way. And I think I'm going to put one more right here. So I have 6 altogether. I would say somewhere between 5 and 7 would be a good number of yellow windows. And that's just going to help the picture move a little bit. Now, if you want to do like a little boat in the water, I can kind of help you do that individually. If you want to do something up in the sky, maybe a little airplane or something, we can do that. But we want to be careful not to ruin the painting at this point because we put so much work into it. One thing I am going to show you is if we do this painting in autumn, I'm going to show you a really fun little tree activity on this painting. If you choose to do it, you can. If you don't want to do it because you don't like how it looks, that's fine too. And the things we're going to need our primary colors, red and yellow, and you're going to need some brown, and then you're going to need some white to make tints with. So what we're going to do first is you're going to actually have to use a detail brush to get started, and you're going to use a little brown. Now this area down here is pretty dark, so I'm going to take a little brown, and I'm going to make a light brown. I'm going to make a tint of brown with my paint here. And then I can just ever so slightly adjust it, and I'm going to make some trees. To make the trees, I'm going to start down here on my sidewalk area, and I'm just going to draw some lines straight up like this. And then I'll draw like a little branch here and here. Okay? And I'm just going to do like 3 or 4 trees. You do not want your trees to be very tall, because if you make your trees small, it'll make your buildings look big. If you have big trees, it'll make your buildings look small. And we want these buildings to really, really be nice and big looking. So we're going to make our trees small. Okay? So here we go. Here's another tree. And notice they look like little Y's. They look like the letter Y. I've got 1, 2, 3. And I think that's going to be good. I'm just going to have 3. I would say somewhere between 3 or 5 is a really good number of trees. You don't want so many that it overpowers the painting. You just want something that's going to look nice, okay? And in this, you really do need to have thick paint. And I actually didn't make my paint thick enough. I'm going to make a little bit more thick paint, and I'm actually going to make it a little browner. And I'm just going to paint right over this tree one more time to make it thick. Okay, because I was not thinking very well here. And so I want that paint to be really thick. And then, once you get that paint really thick, you're going to take your paper, and you're going to fold it. And you're going to fold it right along this bottom edge here. So if I take this and let's say I fold it back here, just to make that line really crisp and to get myself a good line. Just going to fold it here like that, and then I'm going to fold it back up this way just so I have it right on that crease. And excuse me while I pop my head in here. Alright, and then I'm going to push down. like this and just squish the paper. And that should transfer our trees down into the water so it looks like a reflection. Now I'm going to wash my brush out. And I'm going to take my brush and do some blobs of yellow on my trees, like they're yellow leaves. Okay, and you want them to be kind of splattered around, carefully of course. And you're going to have to work quick. If you can't work quick putting the leaves on, then you're really going to have to do like one tree at a time and squish it over. Because if the paint dries, it won't squish onto the water. Alright, so you're going to have to work quickly. I can put my yellow ones on first. So my yellow is nice and pure. And this is going to look like a little autumny picture now. Okay, and I'm going to squish my painting up right along the same line. You have to follow that same line. Okay, squish my painting. Good, now you can kind of see the yellow transfer. And I actually dribbled my brush in the paint there, so I'm going to wipe that off. Clean out my brush. And then I'm going to make some orange. Remember we talked about our primary colors mixing together to make our secondary colors. So I'm going to grab some yellow here, add a little teeny bit of orange, sorry, red, excuse me, and swish that together and mix an orange color. Then I'm going to put some blobs of orange on so we can have that autumn feeling. Notice that I mixed my orange. I did not use it right out of the tube, right? And I'm continuing to mix it here with my yellow and my red. So we're mixing our orange. Put a bunch more leaves on. And this time I'm not going to press so hard. I'm going to press a little lighter. Alright, so it doesn't squish all over into a blob, but you can like see the nice little leaves. I'm just going to gently press it and lift it up. And there you can see the leaves are a little more defined. Then I'm going to go back and use my red and put a couple red leaves on. Okay, and then squish my paper again, ever so gently, right along the fold, and open it up. And there we have our little autumn cityscape in there. And if you feel like you need to add another tree, you can follow the same procedure. All right, and if you need to feel like you want to make the trees on the bank of the city a little bit more defined, you could take some regular brown and just put a little side back on that trunk like that, and that might help a little bit. But there you go, there is our finished cityscape painting with one more thing in, trees or a boat, something in the sky, and our 5 to 7 yellow windows. Okay, and that concludes how to make a monochromatic cityscape, mixing our primary colors to get secondary colors and mixing black and white in to get different tints and shades in the windows.